Okay, give me just a second. I am gonna make sure that y'all can hear me. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, just because, in all honesty, sometimes I don't have the patience for some of these conversations because I know that a lot of times the women who are, part of the I hate divestors crowd really are not looking for dialogue. They're just simply here to counter talking points, and frankly they are the minions of the black males in the manosphere and in other red pill spaces. So I want to talk about the importance of stealth. Okay, so I've told some people on my other channel that there are certain groups where you have women of all races talking about their dating experiences with different groups of men. Largely, they are talking about their experiences with Black men. And those experiences, of course, have not been positive. We know that as Black women. Now, the difference between us and other groups of women is that when they host spaces to have those conversations, they make sure that anyone in the group has a real profile. And the reason that I bring that up is that you've had a handful of people saying, well, hey, can we have screenshots of those comments? The issue with that is the women commenting are having those discussions behind their real profiles. And unlike a lot of the broke and shabby ass bitches on here that like to talk shit, those women have jobs. And we all know how sensitive Black men are and how they like to come for women's jobs simply for a woman stating her experience with the same collective of men. There have also been situations where, unfortunately, there have been women in the group who have taken screenshots of other women's comments, and those women have been threatened. So it's okay to ask for receipts. I would suggest that you find a way to become a part of those groups yourselves so that you can see the comments for yourself without taking screenshots and posting them anywhere else. And I would also ask why a lot of you in the I hate divestors crowd spent years listening to misstated statistics about Black women. You never did the research on your own, right? So the statistics where they told y'all that Black women have a high out of wedlock birth rate. Y'all never did your own research to see whether or not that is something that follows Black women when we deal with other races of men, which it does not. All of the poor outcomes when it comes to relationships and marriages for Black women only occur when we deal with Black men. When you are talking about Black women who exclusively interracially date and marry, you see higher marriage rates, lower divorce rates, lower to non-existent out of wedlock birth rates. But you never dug into that. When these niggas sat on here and said, what were they saying? They were saying that less than half of Black men are fathers. You never dug into the data to see that they were only talking about Black men who were under like 20 or 25. When you're talking about Black men that are like 30 to 40 plus years old, their out of wedlock birth rate actually is higher than Black women. You never looked at that. But when we tell you, well, hey, there are groups where other races of women are having conversations where they are expressing the same concerns about Black men, and they're not saying it in ways that are public, right? So they're not saying it in public comments on places like TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. These are private groups. These groups are private, and they're not publicly available. You have to request to get into the group, and you have to be accepted. So this is not public information. And you're saying, well, can we see the screenshots of these women in private groups behind real profiles discussing their experiences? And then you turn around and you look at us and you say that we're the ones who hate other groups of women. Saying that this is a space where Black women have supremacy does not mean that we hate anyone else. But it's like, well, bitch, if you're not a Black woman, then you're not taking center stage here. But that doesn't mean that we're going to put any woman in a situation where she's going to be threatened or her job is going to be threatened. And see, I'm not like these raggedy bitches that like to get in private spaces and take screenshots and screen recordings of people's private conversations. Y'all are so used to Black women doing that you think that we all do it. Now, if it was just a matter of me being kicked out of a group, that wouldn't be a problem. But the only concern is when you join the groups where you have women asking whether or not they're dating the same guys, the administrators of those groups make sure that anyone who is allowed into the group has a real Facebook profile. Now, some of y'all don't listen, so y'all get on Facebook and y'all tell everybody where you work and all that shit. And there are also Black women in those groups. Showing screenshots and screen recordings would put those women in danger as well. And for those of you who hate divesters, y'all don't understand how to just observe. Y'all don't know how to sit back and watch. And it's irritating. And I try not to be the type of person to come on here and cuss y'all out, because I understand that takes away from the actual conversation. But y'all need to understand that other groups of women are not going to deal with us in the ways that we deal with them. You see that with Tasha K and Cardi B. Because when you really think about it, Cardi B was not hurt by any of the things that Tasha K said. It didn't hurt her business. It didn't hurt her brand. But she's still coming for that girl's jugular. These other races of women are not like Black women. They're not going to deal with you with kid gloves. But just think about what I'm saying. And if you're smart enough, you'll get it. All you have to do is look for groups on social media in your area where women are asking whether or not they're dating the same guy. And these are women of all races, but inevitably you're going to see a lot of discussions where these women are talking about the men that y'all love so much and how they're being treated. And like I said, you know how these guys are. They want to come for people's jobs when you tell the truth about them. Some of these women have been threatened. So no, I can't give you a screenshot, especially if you're coming into my comment section and I've never seen you there before. I don't know who you are, because I know how some of these girls do. They create troll accounts and ask questions, and then they send it to content creators who do not like divesters. You all, I would just say it like this. You all should think about how other people have sat back and observed Black women and then maybe think that it would be in our best interest to do the same when it comes to other people. Just sit back and watch. You have women in these groups complaining because the men in their races are specifically saying, like some of those white guys on their dating profiles are specifically saying that they don't like white women. They only want Black women and Asian women, or they're specifically saying any woman other than a white woman. And I don't know where y'all live, but in this part of the country, I'm in the part of Virginia that's pretty close to the North Carolina border. In this part of Virginia, which is pretty much considered a mid-sized metropolitan area, you are seeing a lot of interracial couples where the woman is Black and the man is Asian, white, Latino. So if it's happening here, it's happening in other parts of the country. And why is it so difficult for y'all to believe that Black women are desired? Why are you not questioning the intentions of anyone who suggests that Black women are not wanted? I'm sorry if you're an unwanted ass bitch, but that does not apply to all Black women. There are Black women who are interracially partnered or interracially married, and maybe they had a relationship with another man who wasn't Black, and that relationship didn't work out. But guess what? They just found another one. Why are so many Black women it's like their dicks get hard trying to tell y'all that you're not wanted, and you don't question that. Why would another Black woman think that her sole purpose would be to tell you, well, oh, these other men don't want you, when the stats do not prove that? Black women in certain spaces are already getting the message. They are simply dealing with the men in their social circles, and those men happen to be men of other races. And you see that when you look at those marital rates. You can look the fuck around and see that Black women are getting the message. You deal with the men who you're most compatible with. And when you appeal to the logic of the very same Black women who have become the most educated group of women in this country, the most successful group of women in this country when it comes to entrepreneurship and home ownership, that same logic tells Black women, well, you know what? The men that treat me the best, the men who are in my social circle, the men who don't try to dim my light, are men who are not Black. When you appeal to the logic and the reasoning of the most industrious and intelligent group of women in this country, aka Black women, they will get the message. But you got to ask yourself, why are so many of these bitches trying to tell you that you're not wanted? And why in the fuck would you believe that? Why would you wake up every day as a beautiful Black woman? I don't give a fuck what complexion you are. Whether you are as dark as midnight or as pale, listen, whether you're peaches and cream, why in the fuck would you not look at your beautiful ass self as a Black woman and not realize that you have so much to offer the world? Why do you hate yourself so much that you believe it when these bitches tell you you're not desired, when that's not true? And the information is there to show you that. Even the most red-pilled motherfuckers out here who are non-Black, and those white and Asian motherfuckers are out here telling y'all that they desire Black women. not just for sex. They desire Black women for relationships and marriages. They just assume that we're not interested. Why do you hate yourself so much that you don't believe it? You need screenshots from private groups to tell you that. But statistics from the Pew Research Center, Kaiser Permanente, and other organizations are not enough to convince you that, yes, bitch, these motherfuckers want you. You can't walk around and see motherfuckers looking at you. You can't look around and see other Black women in happy relationships and marriages with other groups of men. That's not enough to convince you. But you believe motherfuckers online telling you that you're not wanted, even though the data suggests otherwise. Like, come on. I'm not trying to pile on, bullshit on those of you who are obviously insecure. But when do you wake up and look in the mirror and see what everybody else sees? Everyone else sees your beauty. They see your passion. They see your heart. They see the depth of your soul. You have millionaires and billionaires out here saying to each other, well, hey, if you want a wife that's going to love you and be there for you and support you, get your ass a Black woman. Why can't you see the beauty that everyone else sees? Anyway, have a great Friday. Do something for yourself to show yourself that like you're beautiful. You're beautiful, you're loved, you're desired. Do not let these people on here, don't let them use memetics. I've been telling y'all for years, there is a memetics to the conversations that are happening in the Black manosphere. They're basically trying to speak things into existence. They're creating conversations to suggest that you're not desired, because memetics is an idea that doesn't have to be proven to be true, right? It's just if you spread it enough people will believe it, even though the data tells you that Black women are dating and marrying out at higher rates. Even though you have men of other races openly and publicly telling you that they want you and desire you for marriage if that's what you want. And you now have women of other races acknowledging that they're offended and their panties are in a bunch because when they go onto these dating sites, they're seeing white men saying that they prefer Black women and they don't want white women. And it's nothing against those women. But why can't you walk in that? See, a lot of y'all ask whoever you believe in. I'm just going to say spirit. You ask spirit for discernment, but then you don't walk in what the spirit shows you. The Holy Ghost is telling you all around, like, bitch, you're wanted, you're desired, but you got to believe it. And it's so frustrating to me. It's frustrating to me to see the beauty in other Black women and realize, like, damn, y'all don't see it for yourselves. You hate yourself and other Black women so much that you're fighting the women who are telling you, hey, fuck the bullshit. You don't have to deal with motherfuckers who are abusing you at a rate that is 3 times higher than what other women are dealing with. You don't have to be getting killed out here left and right, dealing with motherfuckers who don't care about you. You can love yourself enough to believe in self-supremacy. Divestment at its core is self-supremacy. I am supreme in my life and you are supreme in your life. That means cutting off anyone and anything that fucks with that. And the primary source of Black women's trauma is Black men. So you cannot fully put yourself on a pedestal until you cut them off. This doesn't mean that you just randomly accept whoever from any other race. But what it does mean is that if you are a heterosexual Black woman and you desire intimacy, relationships, or marriages from a man, that man has to be a man that is not Black. It's very simple. And you have a lot of women who claim to care about other Black women, but they're playing on your trauma. They're playing on your insecurity. They're playing on the fact that you don't see your beauty. So they're telling you that you're not wanted and you're not desired, and that's literally not true. And it's so fucking frustrating because the evidence in the data is out there. So just please look around and see what everyone else observes. Look in your mirror. When you see the beauty in your face, the fullness of your lips, your eyes, your nose, your beautiful complexion, whatever it is, your hair, whatever texture it is, and just your vibe and your energy as a Black woman. Embrace that. And love yourself enough to know that you are wanted and desired. All right? I'm out.